ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I'd like to thank the temple management for giving me this opportunity to be at your service. So I have no qualification to speak on any transcendental subject matter, but with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj and all the assembled Vaishnavas, I will try my level best to speak the right words at the right time. And please forgive me if I make any mistakes. So yesterday we celebrated the appearance of Sri Srivasa Thakur. So we'll discuss a few pastimes about Srivasa Thakur. So according to Gaura Ganodesh Deepika, Srivasa Thakur, Srivasa Pandit is none other than Narad Muni, who appeared to assist the Lord to enact his pastimes. And a lot of pastimes happened in Srivasa Angan, which was the home of Srivasa Pandit. And the home of Srivasa Pandit is very close to the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is at Yoga Peeth. We all know that Narad Muni is guru to a lot of Vaishnavas. Can anyone name a few of them?
Vyasadeva.
Yes. Who else? Two famous personalities.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Right.
Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj.
Right, that's correct. And it was only with the mercy of Narad Muni that Srila Vyasadeva wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Srivasa Pandit originally hailed from Srihatta, which is currently in Bangladesh. And then later he moved to reside in Navadvip. And Srivasa Pandit appeared about 30 years prior to the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So he's age-wise he's older than Lord Mahaprabhu.
Before.
Right. So it says Pancha Tattvam Kam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupam Bhakta Avtaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So I offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who is non-different from his features as a devotee, and that is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the devotional manifestation is Nityananda Prabhu. And devotional incarnation is Sri Advaita Acharya. Devotional energy is Gadadhar Pandit. And the pure devotee is Srivasa Pandit. So these are the Panchatattvas that we offer our obeisances every day. Right? And Srivasa Pandit is one of the members of the Panchatattva. His father is Sri Jaladhar Pandit, and he is a traditional Brahmin, and who had 5 sons. So there were 5 brothers. So that is Nalina, Srivas, Srinidhi, Sripati and Sriram. And then it says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chari bhai swamse kare Chaitanya seva, Gaura Chandra bina nahi jane devi deva. So this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 10.11. So it is explained in that how the whole family wholeheartedly engaged in the service of Sri Chaitanya. And they never knew any other gods or goddesses. So they were fully absorbed in the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now every night Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to Srivasa Pandit's house and perform Sankirtan movement. And this was performed behind closed doors. So everybody was not allowed. Only very close associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be permitted, because these were very intimate pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as soon as the kirtan would start, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be fully absorbed, and he would display his pastimes. So sometimes he would become so heavy that it was impossible to move him. And sometimes he would become lighter than cotton. And at times he would become stiff like a statue. And then at times he would be as soft as cream. And at times his body would be elongated, which would be almost twice the normal size. And at times he would look thinner and smaller than he normally does. So these were basically, he was revealing all his identities in Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, where he displayed all these pastimes when he was in Vrindavan. So, and there's another pastime where, like every day, one evening, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started his pastime of chanting and dancing. And at that time, Srivasa Pandit's young son, he was sick for a few days. And on that day, he passed away. And the ladies of the house normally are emotional, right? They have a very soft heart. So they started to lament. And somehow, Srivasa Pandit found out there is something wrong. So he entered the inner chambers of the residence and he found out that his son has passed away. So he had extensive knowledge about the scriptures, so he started giving instructions to all the ladies of the house that, you know, we are spirit soul, we transmigrate from body to body, and there is no reason for us to lament. Especially on this auspicious time when the Lord is present in our house, He is doing Sankirtan. So I'm sure our son has been liberated and gone to the Lord's abode. So please don't cry, as your crying may disturb the Lord, and I don't want the Lord to be disturbed in his Sankirtan. And he warned them again further that if I hear this and if you still disturb the Lord, I will jump into the Ganges and commit suicide. So please don't lament and don't cry. And slowly he eventually came back and joined the Sankirtan with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now normally this would go on past midnight, but for some reason today the Kirtan went on far longer. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the Lord, knew what was going on. And then he continued the Kirtan till the middle of the night. And eventually he said, later on the Lord expressed that today he did not experience the bliss that normally he would. Whenever they did Sankirtan, it would be blissful. But today there was something wrong. So eventually he finds out that Srivasa Pandit's son has passed away. Right? So he was shocked, and the Lord he knew everything, but he still showed his grief. So he was shocked and he was surprised that how come nobody informed me. And basically he wanted to glorify Srivasa Pandit, that in spite of his son passing away, he did not show any signs. And he always wanted to be in the service of the Lord, to make sure the Lord has no problems. Like there's nothing that would disturb the Lord in any manner or fashion. And he did not worry about his own personal comfort or personal family matters to interfere with the Lord's pastimes. And looking at this, the Lord glorified Srivasa Pandit. And then he embraced him and repeatedly mentioned that how could I ever, think of abandoning a company of such selfless associates. Now this was an indication about something, they could not figure out what the Lord was trying to give the message. But eventually they realized that the Lord had made up his mind to accept sannyas. That's why he mentioned that how can I abandon you, such wonderful, associates who are so pure, who only think about my pleasure. So that's how the Lord reciprocates with his devotees. There is another wonderful pastime of Narad Muni when he curses Lord Vishnu. So one day Narad Muni goes to meditate in a special grove which was developed by Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva had blessed that whoever meditates here or does any kind of tapasya will never be disturbed by anything. But Narad Muni was not aware of this special benediction that Lord Shiva has given. So unknowingly he starts to meditate. Now, as always, Indra becomes concerned when somebody starts to do meditation because he's worried about his throne. He's worried about his hot seat, right? Like any politician. They are always worried about their position. And somebody else will take their position. So they won't get the respect. So Indra, as always, he's sending Agni, Varun, Vayu, go and disturb Narad Muni and break his meditation. I don't want him to meditate. So they are all, his ministers, they would obey, obey the leader. So Agni Dev goes, lights fire, nothing happens, Vayu goes, blows heavy winds, nothing happens. Varun Dev goes, heavy rain, Narad Muni is not disturbed. So now Indra is getting worried, tensed. So finally he calls Kamdev and he says, do whatever it takes, but make sure you break his meditation. So, and he tells Kamdev, take Rathi, take the Apsaras, with you, the celestial nymphs, the dancing girls, do whatever you have to do to break his meditation. Because he wants to, safeguard his position. Right? So, Kamdev goes down, tries all his level best. Nothing happens. Narad Muni doesn't budge. He's, in his meditating form. So finally, even Kamdev, accepts defeat and goes back and tells Indra that, I'm sorry, my lord, but I was not able to disturb Narad Muni. Now, as soon as Kamdev leaves, of course, Narad Muni knew, what's going on. So he wakes up and he says, I have defeated all the gods. I have even defeated Kamdev, so I'm free from all lust and desires. And he immediately goes to Lord Shiva, to Kailash, and as soon as Lord Shiva sees him and he says, oh, welcome Narad. How come you're so happy? You look so blissful. So Narad says, my lord, I have defeated Kamdev. So, and I'm beyond lust and I'm so happy. So Shiva says, that's fine, but don't tell this to anyone because this will show your ego. So he says, and especially don't tell this to Vishnu. So Narad says, I am chanting his name all day long, so why should I not tell him? Well, my job is to warn you and tell you not to do something, but it's your choice if you want to do that. So Narad Muni, he says that's okay. And then he leaves and goes to meet Vishnu. And when Narad Muni goes to Vaikuntha, same, he is greeted by Lord Vishnu and he says, oh Narad, how come you are so happy today? So he says, my dear Lord, I have conquered lust. I don't have any desires. And I am so happy that I have achieved this rare feat, So Vishnu says, that's great, So what's on your mind? So he says, this is all very fine and I applaud your attainment and I'm happy, Now, Narad Muni takes the blessing of Vishnu and then he leaves. As he is leaving, he suddenly sees a very nice, palace with beautiful gardens and a nice princess who's dancing. So he gets curious that, I never saw something like this. So let me go down and see who this princess is. So he goes down and to the garden and sees that this palace was of King Shilnidhi and his daughter was dancing there. So he goes inside to meet the king. The king greets him and tells him, "Oh, you come at a very auspicious time." So Narad Muni says, "What's happening?" So he says, "My daughter is about to, select a husband for herself. So I'm organizing a swayamvar. But I would like a favor from you. Can you see my daughter's palm to make sure how her future would be, what kind of a husband she would get?" And Narad Muni says, "Sure enough, So King Shilnidhi calls his daughter. Her name was Vishwamohini. And he tells her, "Please sit down." And Narad Muni takes her palm and sees and says, "Your daughter is very fortunate. Whoever will marry her will rule the three worlds and she'll be very happy." And while he was saying that, a thought crossed Narad Muni's mind. He says, "Why don't I marry her?" And after all the greetings and everything, he leaves. And guess where did he go straight? No. He went to Vishnu. So he straight went to Vaikuntha and says, "My dear Lord, I need a favor from you. I want to marry this girl. A swayamvar is happening." So Vishnu said, "Sometime back you just said you had conquered lust and you don't have any desire, and how come now you want to marry?" He says, "I changed my mind." So he says, "I want you to give me a beautiful, face, deck me with nice jewels, nice silk clothes, and give me some nice ornaments, and make me look really handsome, so that she picks me as her husband." So Vishnu says, "Sure enough, tathastu," as they say. So, may your desire be fulfilled. And Narad says, my appearance should be very distinctive, so I should stand out from the lot. So, and Vishnu says, "Yes, I'll give you the most distinctive appearance." And he dresses him in finest clothes, gives him nice jewelry and everything. And Narad Muni, looking very happy, didn't see what kind of appearance he had got. He was, in his mind, he was only thinking that I need to marry Vishwamohini. That was the only thought going around in his mind. And then Narad Muni goes and joins the assembly of all the kings that had come, with the desire to gain the hand of Vishwamohini. So he stands in the line. So Vishwamohini starts to walk and looks at everybody. And as soon as she comes in front of Narad Muni, she looks at him and starts to laugh. So Narad Muni is wondering, what is going on? I'm supposed to look handsome and I'm wearing such nice clothes and everything. Why is she laughing? And while these thoughts are going on in Narad Muni's mind, she walks past and goes to the end of the line and garlands Vishnu.
Oh, Vishnu.
Yeah.
Vishnu was there too.
Yeah. So now Narad Muni is really angry, because now he sees Vishnu at the end of the line. He has been garlanded, so now he is really furious. Then I told him to make me handsome, and how come he is there also in the line? He never told me that he is going to join. So Narad Muni has the audacity to go and tell Vishamohini, oh, maybe you made a mistake. Look at me. I am here, you should be garlanding me. But she ignores, and then, Jai Vijay were there. So they come and tell him that, come with us, take a look at yourself in the mirror. So Narad says, okay, what happened? So he goes with Jai Vijay, takes a look in the mirror, and he sees a monkey face. Right? And Narad Muni is really furious now. So he says, Vishnu, now he doesn't say my lord, he says, Vishnu, I'm going to curse you. That you will, at one point you will need the help of monkeys. You will be separated from your wife, and you will have to take the monkey's help to gain your wife back. So Vishnu says, I accept your curse. Right? And he smiles, and then everybody leaves. And then we all know the story of Ram, right? Then there's another beautiful pastime of Mrigari and Narad Muni. So Narad Muni is a great saint, as we all know, right? And he is always thinking about the well-being of all the jivas. He has a very soft heart, and whenever he sees somebody in pain or somebody suffering, he feels very remorse and he wants to help them. So Narad Muni is going to take a bath in the Triveni Sangam, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. So on the way, he sees a deer lying, which is injured and half dead. So he's wondering, why is this animal suffering like this? So as he's going on his way, he sees another animal, boar, who has a broken leg, is really, in a lot of pain. And now Narad Muni is getting curious that who's killing these animals. They are like half killing these animals. And then he goes further and he sees a rabbit. And the rabbit is also in the same position, half dead, in a lot of pain. So Narad Muni changes his route and tries to find who's doing this. So as he goes further, he sees Mrigari hiding behind a tree, really furious with the bow and arrow, ready to shoot another animal. And as Narad Muni is passing by, all the animals either fly, all the birds fly away, all the animals run away, and Mrigari comes out and he's about to, harm Narad Muni, but seeing his attire as a sadhu, he takes a step back and pays his obeisances, and he says, how may I help you? Why did you come this way? You made all the birds fly away and all the animals run away. So, why did you do this? So Narad Muni says, I'm really curious that if you are shooting the animals, you're killing the animals, why are you leaving them half dead? They are in so much pain. So Mrigari says that this is what I've been taught by my father. And when I do this, I achieve great pleasure. So Narad Muni says, but do you even realize that all the animals that you are, half killing them, at some point they will come and kill you. So you will have to pay the price. He says, but that's all I know. I don't know any better, And then he says, if you want, I can give you animal skin. So Narad Muni says, no, I don't need anything. All I request you is to either kill them fully or don't kill them. Because when you half kill them, you're incurring more sin. because they are in pain, so they are cursing you. So please stop doing this. So Mrugari says, but if I stop doing this, how will I feed my family? So Narad Muni says, don't worry about you, I'll make all the arrangements, but you stop doing this. So Mrugari says, but I don't know anything else. So he says, you don't worry, I'll give you all the instructions, but you stop doing this, whatever you're doing. So he says, okay, what am I supposed to do? So he says, first of all, break a bow and arrow. So he said, but that's my livelihood. So he says, don't worry about it. I'll make all the arrangements that you don't have to worry about your daily bread and butter. You don't have to worry about your livelihood. So Mrugari says, okay, he immediately breaks his bow and arrow. So what next? He says, go home and distribute all the wealth that you have amongst all the needy people and the brahmanas. So what do I do after that? He says, go to the riverfront and build a small hut and stay there with your wife, and I'll make all the arrangements of your day-to-day living necessities. And the food will come to your doorstep. You won't have to go anywhere. So Mrugari goes, follows the instructions of Narad Muni, distributes all his wealth, along with his wife, goes to the river bank, builds a small hut and starts living there. Now, while all this is happening, slowly the word starts to spread that Mrugari, who was a killer, has now become a saint. He doesn't kill any animals anymore. So now people, out of curiosity, they start to visit him and see that yes, he has really changed. And normally we have a tradition that when we go to somebody's house, we would take something. So they would take food or any other gifts and give it to Mrugari. So Mrugari started to realize that this is really what Narad Muni had told me. Now came a point he would receive more than he would need. So now their consciousness has changed. So they would not consume anything more than they would require. And the remaining food or anything that they had, they would just distribute among whoever had needed this. So one day, Narad Muni, he asked Pravrata Muni that let's go and meet this hunter. So Pravrata Muni says, okay. So they go there and from far off he sees Narad Muni and Pravrata Muni coming. Now Mrugari is so careful that he won't pay obeisances whenever he sees even any ants crawling on the ground. So he would take a shawl, clear the ground to make sure not a single soul is hurt in any way or killed by him. And then he paid his obeisances. So seeing all this, Pravrata Muni was really impressed. And he says, you are really fortunate that Narad Muni came in your life and that changed your whole life. And this is the effect of a pure devotee. Just by taking their association or taking their darshan, we get purified. And acharyas say that even if you don't interact with a pure devotee one-on-one, you don't talk to them, just by merely their darshan and being in close vicinity will purify your heart. And that's exactly what happened with Mrugari. So that changed his whole life. And the Lord is always there beside us. In fact, He is residing in our heart as Paramatma. And He is our best well-wisher. Does He ever stop us coming from the temple? Coming into the temple? Never, right? Even if we may, interact with the Lord, we may have some anger, we may show our anger, displeasure with our situation, but still the Lord accepts us as we are. So look at how merciful the Lord is. And if we believe that the Lord is with us, then He is always with us. It's just that we have to accept that fact. But as a normal human being, our tendency is that we don't believe in something that we don't see. Right? In Hindi there is a saying that जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. Right? So we will only believe that we see, we can feel, we can touch, we can talk to, we will believe that. Otherwise, we have a hard time, understanding how is this possible. But this is happening because we don't have that conviction. We don't have that desire to see the Lord. Our intensity is not that great. In fact, Acharyas say that if you really want the Lord to come in front of you, you should have an intense desire. So assume that you are going in a boat and the boat has a hole and the water is gushing through. What will you do?
Sink.
Now either you will jump to save yourself if you know swimming, but like me, I don't know how to swim. So what would I do? I would somehow start throwing the water out. Right? But the force of the water coming in is greater than my speed of throwing it out. So I'll increase my speed. So the intense desire to save myself from drowning should be the same intense desire that I want to see the Lord. And once you have that intense desire, full faith, full conviction, you will see the Lord yourself in front of you. But we don't have that intense desire. We are not crying for the Lord. We cry for so many things. But are we really crying for the Lord? We are not. Acharyas say that if you want the Lord, if you want to see the Lord, if you want to meet the Lord, you should cry for the Lord. Because the Lord is bhavagrahi. Right? He is looking at what kind of, what kind of bhav you have. What kind of emotions are you showing? That's all the Lord wants. He doesn't want our wealth. He doesn't want halwa, puri, gulab jamun, rasgulla. Radharani is there. Lakshmis are there to serve him. Millions of Lakshmis are there to serve him. Kuber is there with all the possible wealth. So he doesn't need all that. He just needs our love. And what is the Lord asking for? Patram pushpam phalam toyam. He never mentioned, I need halwa, puri, rasgulla. Never. Right? So the Lord is happy even with just plain water. But with which bhav are you offering that water? That matters the most. Right? So we should always, even when we are chanting, they say, most of us have this question that how can I improve my chanting? So I was listening to a lecture where the Prabhuji was saying that if you really want to concentrate, then you should listen to each and every word. So that's why Navada Bhakti also has the first two processes are Shravanam and Kirtanam. Right? So Shravanam is the most important. If you don't hear what you are chanting, then you won't be able to concentrate. Because only when you hear what you are chanting, you will know whether you are chanting the Mahamantra right or wrong. So we should all chant in such a way that we don't need to shout loudly or anything, but we should chant where we can hear ourselves. And then you see the difference in chanting. You will be able to concentrate more. You will be able to focus more. And your chanting will improve to a great extent. My Guru Maharaj always had this question whenever he came. How can I improve my chanting? He would say, chant. I cannot concentrate. Chant more. My quality of chanting is not good. Chant more. So for all our questions, the answer is chant, chant, chant. And somebody would say, my chanting is mechanical. How can I, make it better? Chant more. So it's like practice makes a man perfect, right? And this is the practice that we are doing. Why are we chanting? So that we can remember the Lord at the time of our death. Because otherwise it's not possible if we have not practiced. Imagine an athlete, wanting to participate in the Olympics. He'll have to practice 16, 18, maybe 20 hours a day for years together to be able to get 1 or 2 gold medals. Because every time they participate, they cannot get a gold medal each and every time. Somebody better will always be there. Right? So this is a practice for us. And this basically saves us from committing any kind of anarthas, any kind of sins. So this is an added advantage, that we are not collecting any vikarmas or any sukarmas for that matter. Because when we are performing any service at the lotus feet of the Lord, it's all akarma. And that akarma is a double benefit we have. Because not only are we collecting a permanent akarma bank balance, but at the same time, it's burning our sukarma and vikarma also. So and this is a permanent offer the Lord has given. Our material, world that offers are temporary. The world is temporary. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam, right? It's full of miseries and it's temporary. But the Lord's offer is permanent. Because our akarma bank balance will never diminish. And that is the only thing that will go with us in the next life. Apart from our mind intelligence and false ego. So, just by associating with the pure devotees, we can get purified. Right? Who was Narad Muni in his previous life? He was a Gandharva and he got cursed. Right? So that's why he got a birth of a maid servant. But being the son of a maid servant, he got association of all the sadhus that would come to their home. He would serve them. And Narad Muni said that I would not speak more than that was required. Like a small boy. So, what kind of a lesson do we learn from this? That we should not speak when it is not required. Speak only what is required. So that is another point that will save us from committing any offenses. That will save us from doing any prajalpa. So when we don't do prajalpa, we get more time. Because we say so many times, right? I don't have time to chant. I don't have time to read the scriptures. But if we look at our life, we are doing so many things that are not really necessary. So if we cut down all those things, then we have more than enough time required, right? So initially when we joined Krishna consciousness, we had a question that how are we going to chant 16 rounds? It takes 2 hours, we don't have that time. So we would ask this question and then we were told, okay, what's your daily schedule? So we say, okay, this. Okay, take this out, you'll have 20 minutes. take this out, you'll have, watch less TV. How much time do you watch TV? Like maybe an hour. Okay, make it half an hour. So you have half an hour there, 20 minutes there, 30 minutes there. So that, add up all that, that becomes like 3 hours. So now how much time do you need to chant 16 rounds?
2 hours.
Probably 2 hours. So now you have 1 more hour extra left. So what do? Half an hour read scriptures, half an hour listen to some lectures. There you have time. Everybody has 24 hours. We all have 24 hours.
Yeah.
So that's all we need to do. We need to evaluate ourselves. Ask ourselves this question, that what is the purpose of this human birth, which is the rarest of rare that I have, and what am I doing in this human birth? Am I associating with the devotees? Am I doing any service? Am I reading the scriptures? Am I chanting? And if we tick all the boxes, then we are in the right place. So, again, coming back to the point that associating with devotees, and especially, pure devotees, is very, very important in our life. Just merely by that, taking their darshan and taking their blessings will purify our life. Hare Krishna. Any questions, any comments, corrections? Please.
Hare Krishna. Let me see the. Hare Krishna, bro. Thank you.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama